Hi, my name's Liz.
And my name is Cait.
Over the past 3 weeks, we have been traveling around Europe studying the histories and oppressions of World War II, specifically in Germany and the Bosnian War, particularly in Sarajevo.
Our research topic for this film was to focus on the men during the Holocaust and the men during the Bosnian War, and ultimately how it affects the men in these countries in today's society.
During these last few weeks, we have learned that men suffered greatly during World War II and the Bosnian War. However, after talking to survivors, we have concluded that they realize the remnants of these wars are still visible in today's society, but they are constantly striving for a positive future.
In 1933, a man by the name of Adolf Hitler and his army of Nazis came to power in Germany. He created the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which is a political party that believed in nationalism and ultimately wanted to create a perfect Aryan country in lieu of the new Germany. Hitler and his Nazi party put the blame of the hardships Germany faced after World War I on the Jews. It was easy for the German citizens to believe Hitler's beliefs because Germans already felt jealousy towards the Jewish community. Jews generally had better jobs, incomes, education, etc., while most Germans lived a lower class life than them.
Adolf Hitler convinced the Germans that eliminating the Jews and anyone that was not a full-bred, blonde-haired, blue-eyed German was their way to a better life. Eventually, after a few years of Nazis torturing the Jews in the streets, homes, and businesses, Hitler's SS forces started to create concentration camps. These camps were meant for Jews, homosexuals, gypsies, communists, African Americans, socialists, and anyone not in the Aryan race. Men were often separated from their families during this time. At these concentration camps, men were put to work, and if they were too sick, weak, or young, they were sent to an extermination camp.
While we were in Germany, we got the chance to visit the Buchenwald Memorial, which used to be an all-male concentration camp. The men ranged from the ages of 3 years old and up. This was a labor camp, which means men were overworked, underfed, and very unhealthy. They were forced to live in barracks with over 400 people in one house. The SS officers would beat and harass the male inmates. At this very camp, animals on display for entertainment for the SS officers and their families were placed right in front of the electrical fences of the concentration camp. This would show the prisoners that even animals were being treated with more respect than humans were.
At Buchenwald, the soldiers would burn corpses in the crematorium to cover up the actual causes of death to the inmates, which were mostly murders by SS officers, malnutrition, and being overworked. In 1945, the camp became a death camp as part of Hitler's final solution plan, which was for all Jews to be killed. Buchenwald eventually became liberated by U.S. troops in April of 1945, which set many Jews free. However, thousands of men lost their lives here, and today this concentration camp has been set up as a memorial for these men's families to pay homage to them.
In April of 1992, the war in Bosnia began. This war was the result of the breakup of the country Yugoslavia. Serbians, Bosniaks, and Croats all wanted a country to call their own for their race, culture, and religion. Serbians were Orthodox Christians, Bosniaks were Muslim, and Croats were Roman Catholics. In April of 1992, the Bosniaks were petitioning for peace in front of the Parliament building when Serbians got on the roof of the neighboring Holiday Inn and began to shoot at the petitioners. This was the beginning of the Bosnian War.
Serbians had seized all weapons from Bosnia, leaving the Bosniaks defenseless due to the arms embargo that was set by the UN. This embargo meant no one was allowed to make or buy weapons at this time. The Serbs sat on hills over Sarajevo and would bomb and snipe the city and its innocent civilians. The shell bombs that they used were meant to kill massive amounts of people at once.
During the Bosnian War, a Serbian general once stated, "You kill a woman and you just kill one person, but if you kill a man, you kill a whole lineage." Many men lost their lives in the war by Serbian soldiers because this was the ethnic cleansing that the Serbians wanted. Before the war had started, Bosnian men were part of the JNA army, which was the Yugoslavia's military. The JNA eventually became taken over by the Serbs, which left many Bosnian men fighting against their own country and people. Many men tried to escape the new Serbian army, but it was very dangerous that could lead to your own death.
Many men were separated from their friends and family and sent to concentration camps. These concentration camps were set up similarly to the camps set up during World War II. Some of the labor that these male prisoners would do would be digging holes in the ground, then get shot by the Serbs and eventually be buried in the hole that they dug earlier.
In 1995, the war eventually came to an end when the United States became involved and agreed to settle a peace treaty in Dayton, Ohio, with the Serbs, Bosniaks, and Croats. This treaty politically divided up the land and said that Bosnia and Herzegovina was a complete state, and no entities could ever be separated from it.
After the war in 2003, with the help of the U.S., the Srebrenica Memorial was set up to honor the men who lost their lives during the 1995 Srebrenica genocide. During this genocide, the victims were mostly males. This memorial is similar to the Buchenwald Memorial because it is located where the police forces found the mass graves of the men who died.
During our visit in Sarajevo, Bosnia, we got the wonderful opportunity to meet with a few survivors of the Bosnian War. These individuals were very open and willing to talk about the hardships that they had to overcome. We admire their optimistic outlooks towards their futures and even the way that they described their positivity during the war. Although many buildings and streets of Sarajevo still show the vestiges of the war, it seems to us that these survivors use these as memorials to remember their loved ones that they lost during the war.
Don't get